and you may begin.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Jackie. As Jackie said, my name is Keisha Rogers. I am a certification officer with the City of Chicago Department of Procurement Services. So when you submit your application for one of the certification programs, it is assigned to a certification officer, which could quite possibly be me. And we are the ones that actually review the applications for certification. So let's get started. Let's just have a quick department overview of the Department of Procurement Services so that you can have an idea of exactly what DPS is. So we're the contracting authority for the procurement of goods and services for the City of Chicago. We work together as a team and with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. There are a few certification programs. And then once you get familiar with it, then you'll get used to like the MBE, WBE. So real quick, let's go over those. We have the MBE, Minority Owned Business Enterprise, WBE, Women Owned Business Enterprise, BBE, Veteran Owned Business Enterprise, BEPD, Businesses Owned by People with Disabilities. Those are the local programs. So those four are the City of Chicago local programs. We also handle two federal programs, which is the DBE, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, and the ACDE, which is the Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So you'll get used to hearing those terms and learn the difference between the local and the federal program. So what we do here, DPS is committed to providing information, resources, and to assist you in your efforts to compete for City of Chicago contracting opportunities. So the certification program is a way for you to get to be a part of those different contracting opportunities. So in our unit, we accept and review new applications for certification, annual no change affidavits, and recertification applications, which are done every 5 years. We contract compliance with negotiated contractual MWB DBE participation goals. We set standards for contract participation for MWBEPD and VBEs, as well as DBE and ACDBEs, and we assist vendors through our websites. So there are 2 websites that are listed, which you will see, the cityofchicago.org/procurement and chicago.mwbe.com. So if when you get ready to submit your application, I will go directly to chicago.mwbe.com, set up your username and password, and that is where you can start your application for certification. What are the benefits of certification? So it provides visibility. Once you're certified, your firm is listed in a directory, which is accessible to the general public. So you can actually go onto the City of Chicago's website or to the Illinois UCP, and depending on the certification, and actually pull up businesses to see what they are certified, if they are indeed certified. So it provides visibility. If you're certified, people can look up your business and determine that you are certified. There are also minority, women, veteran, and disadvantaged business participation goals on City of Chicago projects and with our sister agencies. The private sector also seeks out certified firms for products and or services. The City of Chicago also has a target market program, which provides exclusive bidding to certified minority and women-owned business enterprises. This allows the certified business to take 100% of the contract because there are no subcontractor goals associated with the project. Do you qualify for certification? So listed here are the qualifying groups. So if you fall under one of these, then you are qualified to apply for certification. So African American, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, women, veteran, persons with disabilities, and other individuals who can prove social and economic disadvantage. The veteran-owned business enterprise is exactly that. So it's for veterans who have served in the United States Armed Forces and was discharged or separated under a not dishonorable condition. So only thing we really need to do for the veteran-owned business enterprise is to provide your DD-214 or your DD-215 to support your veteran status. If you don't have those, then we just suggest that you contact the Veteran Administration to get a copy of that DD-214 or DD-215. Certification requirements. So there are certain things that are required in order for you to be a part of the certification programs. So you have to be a local business for the local program, which again, if you remember, I said the local programs is the minority owned, women owned, veteran owned, and people with disabilities. So for those four, you have to be a local business. So your principal place of business and majority of your full-time workforce has to be located in the counties of Cook, DuPage, Kane, Lake, McHenry, or Will. Now for the DBE, ACDBE certifications, again, those are the federal programs. You can live anywhere in Illinois. So the local requirement does not pertain to you for the DBE and ACDBE programs. Well, no matter what certification, the owner has to be a 51% or more, have 51% or more ownership in the firm. So it has to be controlled and managed by a minority, a woman, veteran, or a person with a disability. For DBE, ACDB, the person has to be socially, economically, disadvantaged individual. So whoever is applying for certification, the owner of that company, they need to have at least 51% or more ownership in that firm. There are some business size standards. So remember, these are for small businesses. So once your gross receipts exceed 41.07 million, average over 3 years for non-construction firms and construction firms, it is subject to the SBA size standards, average over 5 years. So once your firm reaches those gross receipts, then you will graduate out of the certification program, which is a good thing, okay? Because that means the program has did what you have set it out to do. Now for DBE, the gross receipts are also subject to SBA size standards, average over 3 years, not to exceed 26.29 million. The ACDBE is not to exceed 56.42 million, average over 3 years for most firms. So this is the reason why we ask for your tax returns, because your certification officer will do an analysis of the gross receipts of your firm to ensure that you have not exceeded the average amount for the business size. There's also a personal net worth standard. Now for the local program, this only applies to construction companies. Your personal net worth cannot be more than 2.37 million, okay? And this is evaluated annually by the city of Chicago. Again, if you get to that point, and this is for construction companies, then you will go through the graduation process. For DBE and ACA, remember that's the federal program, the threshold applies to all people seeking certification and is currently at 1.3 million. This is adjusted periodically by the U.S. Department of Transportation. So the calculation of personal net worth does exclude the value of your primary residence and any interest you have in the certified firm. So if you're a construction company, or if you're applying for the federal program, then you will provide a personal net worth statement where you will list your assets and liabilities and calculate exactly what your personal net worth is. You will submit that with your application so that we can make sure you have not exceeded or not over the personal net worth standard. What type of businesses that qualify? So we have sole proprietors, which are typically owned by only one person and has no legal existence apart from the person, him or herself, okay? So if you're a sole proprietor, you must submit your assumed name certificate if operating in a name other than that of the owner. So you want to remember that if you're a sole proprietor, that is something you have to submit the assumed name certificate when you upload your documents for certification. General partnership, that's when two or more people go into business together without any formalities. So for that, you will provide a partnership because you want to show to us exactly what type of business entity your business actually is. For a corporation, this corporation is treated as an entity completely separate from its shareholder. It allows others to invest in the business without being liable for the debts of that business. So if you're a C Corp or S Corp, you will fall under this. So we want to know, is your firm in good standing with the state of Illinois? So we will check that. If it is not, then we will definitely let you know that you are not in good standing with the Secretary of State so that you can get that updated. You will provide articles of incorporation, certificate of incorporation, bylaws of incorporation, copies of all stock certificates issued front and back. So when we say all, even if there's any canceled stock certificates and meeting minutes, these are the type of things that follow under a corporation. Now we understand that everybody might not have all of this, especially if you are a startup, and that's okay. But usually a corporation, these are the type of documents that you should have. Now we definitely want you to be in good standing with the state of Illinois. For some other items, such as meeting minutes, you might not have those, and that's okay. We'll just explain to us why you do not have it, and then we should be able to proceed. Okay? A limited partnership. The limited partners are more like stakeholders in a corporation. They are not liable for the debts beyond their own contribution. So if you're a limited partnership, then you should be providing an assumed name certification or certificate of limited partnership to us to show that you are indeed a limited partnership. LLC, which is a limited liability company, partnerships that have a managing member or partner. You will provide to us your articles of organization and your operating. So most, if not all, LLC should definitely have these two things, and we will request, if you're LLC, that you provide those to us. A supplier. So a supplier this is the definition of a supplier. Okay. So a supplier must be a regular dealer, which is a firm that owns, operates, or maintains a store, warehouse, or other establishment in which material supplies, articles, or equipment are bought, kept in stock, and regularly sold or leased to the public in the usual course of business. A distributor are firms operating as a distributor are identified as having a direct relationship with the manufacturer to distribute its goods and products within a specified territory or region. The goods and or products are not available or sold to the general public. Then you have brokers. So firms acting as a broker are not eligible for certification as an MBE, WBE, BBE, or BEPD, but can be eligible for certification as a DB. A broker is a person or entity that fills orders by purchasing or receiving supplies from a third-party supplier rather than out of its own existing inventory, and provides no substantial service other than acting as a conduit between his or her supplier and his or her customer is considered a broker. So if you are a distributor or supplier, there is certain information that you will have to provide to us, such as a lease for your warehouse, a list of the inventory, agreements you might, manufacturing agreements, etc., that you might have. So this is why we want you to know what a supplier, what a distributor is, and if you fall under a broker, you cannot be certified under the local program, but you might be eligible for certification in the federal program. Okay. So the online application process. Again, you want to submit applications online. That's that website that I mentioned earlier at chicago.mwb.com. Okay, you're going to go onto that website. If you don't already have a username and a password, you're going to create that username and a password. Usually your username is your email address. Okay. There is an application fee of $250 for the local program. If you are applying for the DBE and ACDBE, there is no fee for that. So what I would suggest you do is that if you want to, let's say you want to apply for the MBE, which is the minority owned, the WBE, which is the women owned, right? You're going to apply for both of those. There's only one fee of $250 when you apply for both of those. So when you fill out your application, you're going to check MBE, you're going to check WBE, so that we know that you're applying for both of those, right? So then you say, hey, I want to do the federal program also. It's a separate application, but I would say do it right behind your local application, so that normally when you do that, you will get the same certification officer for your MBE WB application and for your DBE ACDB application, okay? So upon submission of application, you will receive an email invoice, okay? So as soon as you hit submit, the invoice does not come automatically. I would say allow at least 1 to 2 weeks to get that invoice. The invoice will have instructions on the payment centers, the ways that you can pay. You'll see on here, we only accept certified checks, cashier's checks, or money orders. And then credit, debit cards are also accepted. Your application will not even begin the review process until you pay the $250 application fee, okay? The second page of the invoice you will receive also has a website address to make an online invoice. So just keep in mind that as soon as you hit that submit button, we do not automatically start reviewing your application. So you have to allow time for the invoice to be sent to you, for your payment to be processed, and for your file to be assigned to a certification officer. What type of information is needed? Now, keep in mind, you might not have all of this information or it might not be applicable to you, but at least you kind of have an idea of the things that we will be requesting when you submit your application. Contact information, okay? Type of certification you are seeking, which is what I kind of mentioned briefly. You're going to say if you want the MBE, the WBE, BEPD for the local program. You can apply for all four if all four pertain to you. For the BEPD, which is the for the people with disabilities, you do have to submit to us the Schedule G form. Okay, so you'll actually go to the mayor's office for people with disabilities and do the Schedule G form there, and then once it's approved, they will send over something to us. Okay, the VBE requires again the DD 214 or the DD 215 document. You will provide ownership information, because again, remember, you have to make sure that the qualifying member or owner has 51% or more ownership in the firm. You will provide employee information, facility information. So we want to make sure that we know exactly where your business is being conducted. So you will provide a lease, or you will provide a copy of a property tax bill to show exactly where your firm is located. You will provide financial information such as tax returns. You will provide licenses for the applicant and the business. So if you are requesting to be certified as an architect, then you will provide your state of Illinois architect license. If you are a business that is located in the city of Chicago, then you should have your city of Chicago business license. If you're not sure what licenses you need, then I would definitely reach out to the Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Office and speak with someone there to make sure you have the correct and applicable licenses before you apply for certification, because we will ask for those during this certification process. You will provide a resume. A resume should be a detailed chronological resume. It should show your education. It should show your experience. It should show your roles and responsibilities from those experiences and previous jobs that you have. You'll provide evidence of executed contracts and or invoices. So you want to show that you have, that you're currently working or that you have the experience in. Again, if you're an architect, you might show a contract that you have as a subcontractor working as an architect. The scope of services will actually say, you know, provide architect services, etc. You will provide your driver's license and birth certificate, proof of equity contribution. So that means we want to know how much money did you contribute to start your business, and what is the source of funding for that? Okay, so you want to provide that to us. Now, if you started your business 10 years ago and you no longer have that information, then you will provide a signed and notarized letter indicating the proof of your equity contribution, which is the amount, and the source. So the source could be your personal checking account. The source is a loan, but you do have to describe and indicate exactly what that is. You will provide the signature card for your business bank account. So when you opened up your business bank account, you had to sign something so that the bank knows exactly who is the authorized signer for that business bank account. You have to provide that part to us. You will provide an organizational chart, an equipment list, if applicable. So if you are a painter, then you're going to provide a list of all the equipment or tools, et cetera, that you have to show that you have the equipment needed to be a painter, and any loan information. Now, for financial documents, I did mention that you will be providing tax return. So you will provide 3 years of your federal business tax return. 5 years for construction firms. So construction firms are 5 years. All other firms or types of companies are 3 years. Okay. If you do not have those, that is completely understandable. We understand that because you might have just started your business in 2020 and you will not have 3 or 5 years. So you would just provide a statement indicating why you do not have those tax returns, upload that document with your application, or it can be you filed an extension. You will provide a copy of the extension that you filed with the IRS to show that the reason why you do not have the tax returns that we are requesting. You will also provide your individual tax returns for 3 years for non-construction, 5 years for construction firms. We do ask that you provide a 4506T. This is just a document that you're going to sign in the event that we need to reach out directly to the IRS to obtain your tax returns. The 4506T is giving us that authorization. You will provide W-2s and 1099s. And again, the personal net worth statement, which is for construction firms, as mentioned before, and all new BEPD and ACDB applications. So after your application is submitted, the process can take approximately 90 to 120 days from the day we receive all documents. So that means, remember, not from the point where you submit your application, from the point that you pay your fee, not even from the point when you have your certification officer. When your certification officer reviews and they have all of the documents they need, it can take 90 days from that. Okay. If there's something missing, your certification officer will reach out to you and let you know that we're missing something. Your application is checked to make sure we have all documentation. We do a thorough audit of your application. If there's anything missing, as I mentioned, then we will reach out to you via the portal and it will go to your email. So as you're going through this application process, I would be checking my emails on a consistent basis to make sure you're not missing anything from us. You may also receive a site visit. So if you are applying for the federal program, which is DBE and ACDB, you will receive a site visit. And for the local program, if you are a construction firm, if you're a trucking firm, if you are a supplier or a manufacturer, you will receive a site visit. So your officer, once they feel like they have all of the information, then they will send a request to a field analyst and they will contact you to schedule that site visit. So if you are approved, your certification is valid for 5 years. And that's for the local program. So for the local program, the certification is good for 5 years. You will do a no change affidavit annually until your 5 years is has expired, and then you'll do a recertification. For the federal program, you don't have to recertify. Your certification is good for ever, pretty much, unless we tell you that it's not. Okay. So expedited process. So there is a way that you can do a reciprocal application if you are already certified with the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council or the Women in Business Development Center. So it's an abbreviated application that may require less documentation. However, please be aware that once your certification officer reviews that information and they need additional information to make their decision, then they're going to send you a request for information. So a lot of times, the items that are not being asked in this outside certification application, when we review it, a lot of times we do ask that information so that we can make sure we are making a good recommendation, the correct recommendation, I should say. So maintaining your certification, I mentioned this briefly. So all vendors must submit an annual no change affidavit. So you must notify us if there's any material changes, such as, you sold shares of the business has a name change, organizational changes, etc., within 10 days of the change. Okay, so you go online, go into the portal, and submit a material change to notify us of those changes. Every 5 years, the local program, you do have to recertify, as I mentioned before. So when you certify, you are going to request to be certified in certain Nexus codes, right? These Nexus codes should be what you're currently working in or your area of expertise. But let's say down the line, you start going into another area. So you start off with being a painter and now you're doing concrete, okay? You can request to do an expansion of services. The expansion of services is free. So when you submit your initial application, you don't have to do, 10, 15 codes, because you do have the opportunity to expand once you get more knowledge, experience, business in that area you're requesting for expansion. So again, you'll submit your request on company letterhead, include the nexus codes, which you might have heard me mention before, which are the categories from the North American Industry Classification System code. So if you type in nexus into your Google search, you will it will pop up with the website where you can go and you can put in, like I said, put in painting, put in architect. And it'll let you know the 5-digit nexus code that you should be requesting. That's your area of specialization. Okay. With the expansion of services, it's similar to a new application, kind of, because we do ask for support and documentation, require licenses, copies of future or present contracts, any needed insurance, a current and updated resume. Okay. This slide just kind of lets you see what some of our sister agencies are. Like I mentioned in a previous slide, some of these sister agencies also look, when they have contracts, they also look for people to be certified as an MBEWB accepted. Okay. The top 10 reasons applications are denied. This is very important. So unsubstantiated or questionable ownership or control. We have to make sure that you are 51% or more. So if you're a minority, that minority has to have 51% or more ownership or control of that business. An unclear description of the critical functions and who is responsible. The company cannot substantiate where and how startup funds expansion capital was initiated. So remember, I talked about that briefly. You're going to let us know how much money you use to start up your business, right? And where that came from. So if a company can't substantiate that information, that is a reason why they could possibly be denied. Outside secondary employment takes the majority of the qualifying members, the majority owners' time each day. So that's not saying you cannot have a second job, but we will ask the question on how are you able to efficiently run the day-to-day operations of the business while having a full-time job or part-time job, especially if those hours coincide. Okay. The company is not located in one of the 6 county regions. That's for the local program. The point of contact did not respond to requests for information in a timely manner. Remember, I mentioned check your emails. Okay. Even if you don't hear from us for like a couple of weeks, I will still check your email because a lot of people are missing those. And once we'll send 1 request, we'll send 2, we'll send 3. If you don't respond, that is the reason why your application can be closed. Okay. Inconsistencies with the applicant firm name among various documents. Problems with contracts. Remember, this is a thorough audit. We're looking at contracts. We're looking at the documents that you're seeing. So if there's missing information, incomplete, it's not signed, it's not executed by the qualifying owner, there's no proof of payments for a contract or something, that could be a reason why you are denied. Required documents are not attached or no explanation is given as to why the documents are not available. So when you go through, you'll see the application is asking you for several documents. If you don't have them, again, that is okay. Attach a document indicating that you do not have that particular piece of information and explain why. So even if you took 1 piece of paper and say, I don't have bylaws, I don't have this, I don't have that, and keep uploading that same thing, that's fine. If your officer needs additional information or explanation, they will definitely reach out via a request for information to get that from you. Okay. 3 or 5 years of tax returns were not submitted or signed as required. So hopefully, I know it's a lot of information. So right now I am going to take any questions, and hopefully if you have any questions after this, my email, I think it might be into, but my email is Keisha, KEISHA .Rogers, ROGERS at cityofchicago.org. Our phone number for the certification unit is 312-744-4900. Option 1, and any certification officer can assist you. So I am ready for any questions now.
So as Keisha said, thank you, Keisha, for that wonderful presentation. And as Keisha said, if you have a question, make sure you put it in the Q&A panel so that we can ask her those questions. So if you haven't gotten started, get started writing now as I ask this first question because I only have one. So we want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered before we close on today's session. The first question that we have here, Keisha, is where does one go to find out about the type of license you will need um, for, I don't know, I don't know what license she's referring to, but maybe she's referring to how to get certified.
Okay, so maybe she's talking about because some businesses have to be licensed. So if
Okay.
you are not sure about the type of license, I would contact the Business Affairs and Consumer Protection Office. They are actually on the same floor as the Department of Procurement Services. They also have a small business center in there where you can talk to someone and see if they are able to assist you with the type of licenses. So I can let you know that if your business is located in the city of Chicago, your address, your firm, you should have a City of Chicago business license. You can go to BACP, which is Business Affairs and Consumer Protection, and I believe they have it online now, so you can apply for that license online. If you are a construction company, you should have a GC license, okay? The GC license is through the Department of Buildings, okay? So that's how you would get the GC license. Now, as far as any other professional licenses, all of those are usually through the Illinois Department of Professional Regulation, but those are usually for like architects and accountants, and so those people should be familiar with those licensing requirements. So, but the Business Affairs Consumer Protection Office is a great place to start to try to figure out what licenses are applicable to you and your business.
Great. So that was the only question I had. Rodney, do you have any questions over on your end? If not, while I'm holding, I'll say thanks, Keisha, for sharing that information. And as she said, that we have a list of the assist agencies online at on our website at www.chicago.gov/DPS. We also have it as part of the buying plan. So if you download your copy to the buying plan, it is in the last few pages of the buying plan. You will see the assist agencies and their addresses and phone numbers and some information about the agencies, so you can know which agencies to peruse at the time. But I recommend that you download yourself a copy of that because that could be a great start or a source for you to get information as well. I have a question here for you, Keisha. My company is an LLC. My husband, me, and another minority woman partner. My husband and I have a joint bank account. How do we show uh, how do we show my equity?
So you would have to provide a statement explaining the equity. So if the equity, your initial equity contribution came out of your joint account and it was $3,000, I'm just throwing a figure out there. And if 2,000 was from you and 1,000 was from your husband, or however, you need to pretty much explain that and then provide the backup showing that that money did come out of the joint account, which would actually be a copy of the bank statement, and that that money went into, say, your business bank account, which will be a copy of the business bank account when you first open it, showing this $3,000. So a lot of things, if you're unsure of it, provide an explanation. We always say around here, tell your story. Tell exactly how you went about determining Because if it's three of you all, then the percentage, how did you come up with the percentage of the breakdown? Does it match the initial equity contribution per owner, et cetera? So the best way to do that would be to provide an explanation and then to include any support documentation that you can to support your explanation.
Okay, great. Well, I guess that is all that I see here. So I want to thank Keisha Rogers for that great information. And again, like she said, if you have questions, you can send them directly to her and she will direct you in the correct place. If not, answer the question for you. It is Keisha.Rogers@cityofchicago.org.
Yep.
I almost forgot that. I was like, okay, .com or .org. uh, I also would like to thank the attendees for attending today's workshop. You do have a choice. You do want to decide on who you would like to get certified with. And so we hope that we have provided that information to you so you can make your best decision on where to go to do that. So thank you for attending. I say stay safe, stay well, wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, get your shot, get your booster shot, do whatever it takes so that eventually we can be back in the room together and see you face to face and network with you that way as well. Thanks so much for everyone. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Keisha, and have a wonderful rest. Wait. Oh, thank you all. Okay, thank you, Guadalupe Bay. Thank you for your information. I want to thank everybody for attending and have a wonderful rest of your day. And we will see you at the next workshop. Have a good one. Thanks, Keisha.
Thank you.